Hello, everyone. Welcome to PDINA. Welcome. Otis is so happy to be here, as you can see, and so am I. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And today I wanted to just bring in some things that I've been thinking about once again, looking at all the headlines around the royal family and what is happening with Catherine, and then how all of this began. And how, if we really look critically at everything that we are seeing, we can see clearly that this all started with Meghan. What we're seeing with Catherine, most especially. Yes, we got to talk about this. Let's get into it. So as we can see, Meghan has rebranded. She has started her Instagram. She started it with just a logo on Instagram. There's no real information. And experts are talking about how this branding with Meghan is not going to resonate. It's not going to resonate with a lot of people for a lot of different reasons, which I'm going to point out. But also, if we look at how Meghan is doing things now compared to what it was initially when they first started coming to the States, Harry and Meghan, they're not really able to make their money how they initially had planned to. So they're reverting, or at least Meghan is reverting to something she did prior to Harry, which was the TIG. And this is just a more upgraded version of the TIG. This is a TIG version that requires more money, more creativity on Meghan's part. And she's essentially starting over from where she left off pre-Harry. And with that, how she's trying to make it something more than what it could be for the people that she says she's trying to help. This is why it's not going to resonate. I'm going to just talk really briefly about this, but then show you how all of what we're seeing with Catherine leads back to Meghan. Okay, so but starting with this, because this was the plan all along. Don't get it twisted, folks. From the beginning, Meghan wanted to do what she is doing right now, but she wanted to do it via bigger deals like with Netflix and Spotify, really big brands supporting her and being her, having her be the face of a lot of big brands. But that didn't happen. It failed. Okay, so when she and Harry first started, they went on Oprah. They set the seeds. And this was while Meghan was still within the royal family, because we remember we have to go back to the things that were always said so we can keep the trail, the breadcrumbs leading us to where we need to go. And in the beginning, Oprah was there from the beginning, from the courtship. She wanted to interview Meghan from the beginning. And Meghan said, it's not time, let's wait. Okay, that's when they decided to go forward with Oprah. Okay, that's when they decided to move forward. So Meghan is essentially doing her backup plan. And the PR experts are saying that her brand is not going to resonate with a wider audience. It is, Meghan is trying to be seen as someone who is a champion for underprivileged people, with her latest projects, trying to be this voice for people that are not very well economically advantaged. She's trying to be this source of, I'm here to help you. I want to help you. But at the same time, having this brand that's so very much, I'm of the upper echelon of society, and I am the new princess, and I have to make everything look exactly like I want them to look as a very influential person that's very privileged. That's what she wants it to look like. But at the same time, say, I'm here to help you, you peons of the world. I'm here to help you. I know you're down there, but look to me as your savior. Because I can help you, because I'm the American princess, American Riviera Orchard. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Okay. Now, so it comes just after last week's shock announcement that she made on Instagram, just hours, before Harry and William's Diana Legacy Awards, where she announced her American Riviera Orchard website, which has no information doesn't really say anything. It was almost like, well, shoot, I'm not ready to put my website up, but it's time for them to go to the Diana Awards. Let me hurry up and just post something so that I can overshine them. And she just posted the logo with no information, mind you, no information. And people are trying to say, well, it's the year anniversary of our freedom flight. So you're going to announce something with no information that is supposed to be a significant day right on the day of the Diana Legacy Awards. Okay, so I talked about that. We understand that is wrong. And that's what people that want to support Meghan need to understand. They need to understand the backhandedness of this woman and how she's trying to play games and do things that they themselves would not accept within their own households. Okay, so let's just always keep that in mind. And it doesn't really look outside the realm of possibilities that Meghan would do something to sabotage people that could get in her way. And why we're seeing what we're seeing with Catherine, because I still believe it all comes down to Meghan. So we can see how she has done things in the past. We could not put that past her to want to sabotage someone that would get in her way. And the two people that would get in her way the most would be the king and the heir. And we know that during the Oprah Winfrey interview, that, like I said from the beginning, was already plotted to be done once Meghan got into the royal family. Once she left the royal family, the mission was executed, and she had the interview with Oprah. And she came out and she made the claim that there were racist royals, or there was a racist royal. Harry didn't want to go there. When they brought Harry out, Harry was like, I ain't gonna touch that woman. What you doing? Why you saying this? That's my family. But by then it was too late. She had a bun in the oven. She already had one out, and they were already married. So Harry is just stuck to just go along with whatever Meghan puts out there, even if it puts him on the spot. So he goes with it, but he's not going to speak about it. Time goes by. Miss Scobie comes out with a book. There is this mistranslation about this royal racist accidentally, oops. The translation that got out that showed the names of the royals being the king and the heir's wife. The heir's wife. So it was the king that was the one that had these racist claims. And then it was Catherine, who is the wife of the heir, the wife of William, because William's wife is the one person that Meghan is very, 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 very jealous of, because people really give her the Diana treatment that Meghan so desperately wants. Catherine was really hounded by the photographers. Catherine is the one that doesn't miss a step. She is the one that people rave about. People look at her as the MVP. She is very valuable to the royal family. And Meghan, we could care less about her. So the plot was established that she was going to try to get rid of these people. And what is the best way to get rid of these people? Is to start a rumor, to say something that could get to them in a way that could damage them, damage their reputation, and that could also even just maybe cause an ailment, a physical ailment. And that is what we see now, no doubt. Because we must not forget that this all started with Meghan. We have all this controversy now over Catherine, of which I'm going to speak on briefly about the photo and the most recent photo that we saw that came out that showed Catherine and William shopping. Because we hadn't seen her, even Kim Kardashian came out and she was like, I think I need to go find Catherine. Where is she? And then I even have people from my family asking me, where's Kate? Where is she? So now it's starting to reach a lot of people that usually don't follow this. They're now all of a sudden in on the whole Kate gate. Where is she? And we can see that Catherine is away dealing with a health crisis that I believe was not planned like they say it was, because if it were planned, there would never have been appointments made that they had to break, because they would have planned for this surgery that was going to be at a certain time and that she would need time to recover. And then they would be able to just pick up when she was able to come back after her recovery. But because there were dates that were broken because of Catherine's surgery, we know that it was not planned. This was something that came on, a health crisis what is happening now with Catherine, and a health crisis that came on King Charles. We're not talking about where this all started. There were not issues about the health of the king and Catherine until the names of the royal races were revealed. And you imagine the stress, the fishbowl that the royals live in, where you're already a target for a lot of fascination and curiosity about your life. And then if something negative comes out about you, how would you handle it physically? How would you handle it? Well, let's just look at that. Let's look at what happens with long-term stress. Because in the beginning, we know that the races were acknowledged within the royal family that were not Philip or the late Queen, because, we knew they're going to be gone. We don't want to worry about their having to deal with this, because, eventually the people that are really going to get in the way of Meghan and Harry are not going to be Prince Philip and the Queen, the late Queen. It's going to be those that are there to rule in the future. And so the consequences of long-term stress. And they say that chronic stress can cause and worsen many serious health problems. And I'm going to look at the top ones. Number one of them being mental health problems with depression, anxiety, and personality disorders. I mean, we look at someone like Meghan, who is talking about being the champion of mental health and all the mental health crises that Meghan has had to deal with. But yet and still, they have put the mental health problems on the members of the royal family intentionally, by the Oprah interviews, by the many things that they have done around causing stress to the royal family, because this was a buildup to the naming of the royal racist. And it was, in my opinion, all very much planned, because it was planted long ago, the seed to do what is happening to the king and Catherine now. Then we look at cardiovascular diseases, heart disease, high blood pressure, abnormal heart rhythms, heart attacks, and stroke. We have obesity and other eating disorders, menstrual problems, loss of sexual desire in men, okay? But then, guess what one of the other issues of chronic stress is? Gastrointestinal problems, such as GERD, ulcers, gastritis, colitis, and irritable colon. When you look at the stress that suddenly came over, I believe, Catherine, it affected her physically. And I can even give you a couple examples of how stress affected me physically. When I was living in Los Angeles and working, trying to get acting jobs and working to try to support myself and to make a living, the stress got to me so bad. And I've often spoken about this in the beginning of my channel, how the stress, it caused my hair to fall out. I was literally losing my hair. I had a bald spot about this big on the top of my head from the stress. Another time where I was physically ill from stress was from when a very dear aunt of mine passed away. I got sick and I threw up and I had really bad stomach problems from it, because the stress, the anxiety, the news of that information caused me to be physically debilitated. It affected me physically, the stress. We didn't see this downhill with the King and Catherine until those names of those royal races were named. And I strongly believe that there was a buildup from the time the Oprah interview started to when the royal races were named. Meghan has been behind the issues we're seeing with Catherine now. Not only that, but we have the ripple effect of the mistakes with the pictures and then with the rumors around William and an affair. And there's like this constant attack on Catherine, even while she is dealing with a health crisis. So we look at everything that has happened with Catherine and the ripple effect of this photo that was taken, the stress of the surgery, the recovery, the people hounding her for wanting to know, well, what it is that she has. Why haven't we seen her? The attacks on her. The attacks have been there from the beginning of when Meghan entered the royal family. And we should never forget where this all started. And Harry allowed it. And so as we continue to get through what is happening with Catherine and the whole conspiracies around her and her health and the photos and the one photo where they were shopping, I looked at it and I'm thinking, I blew it up and it didn't look like Catherine, but then it did look like Catherine. And I just thought, you know what? It has to be her. I think it just doesn't really look like her because the woman in this photo looks like she's lost a lot of weight, which is one of the side effects of stress. And I could imagine from her surgery, from her recovery. So we must keep the attention on where this has all started and how Meghan is still trying to stay above the water with her brand, to not fall from her plight to make it as an A-lister, as she continues to do this with a brand that we don't believe is going to really resonate with a lot of people, and while at the same time trying to get rid of those that can be in her way, those responsible for the future of the monarchy. Because don't see this as someone that is just happily living their life in California. Meghan, in my opinion, is still trying to find a way to bring down those that are in her way to make it where she wants to be. And as long as William is there and trying to be a block to get Meghan where she's trying to be, Meghan will continue to try to hurt and harm any way she can William's wife. She could also go up against the king, the father of her husband, who will never, no matter what the son does, ever allow the son to not benefit. So she can attack and do whatever she wants to the king, because as the king has already shown us, he is always going to be loyal to Harry because that's his son. So as long as Meghan is attached to Harry with the children, she can do what she wants to get the king out the way and to get the future king and his wife out the way by planting a seed, which we saw her do, in which we must never forget where it started.